Hello and welcome everyone to the Creator Cup Semifinals. My name's Joe and I'm joined by Houseline, one of the main reasons why we're here today, if not the only reason, really. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Thank you so much. And thanks for coming in to commentate again. It means a lot having someone of your caliber in. And also, I get the chance to get some good insights and chess knowledge off you. So I haven't done a lesson with you either. I've been watching your lesson streams, so I'm kind of jealous of all the people that get to a lesson, but this is a good second. So thanks for coming on.
Well, Matt, you're definitely one of the talented players of this event, obviously an organizer and a streamer yourself. So, really, the pleasure's all mine to be here. But we've got a lot of talented players competing. We are obviously in the semifinals of the championship bracket. For those of you that are curious, we've got the brackets right here. So let's take a look at how he got here. So that's a lot of
So
players.
yeah, there is a lot of players. We originally started with 16 players that went through group stages. We now just hit a knockout round, so we've eliminated 4 players. Sadly, I'm also out of the running, but I'm kind of happy. I'm not gonna lie, it's way more fun to watch the games and commentate. But in the championship bracket, we have quite a big pairing today. So we have Max, who knocked me out, versus Agne. So Max obviously has to win. So if he's beaten me and then he goes on to win, then it's not too much shame for me. So that'll be a big match today. Agne is one of the favourites. Max has also been had a strong performance, so we should be able to see a lot today.
Yeah, today's match, we're watching the bottom half of this bracket. Max versus Agna, a big one. But as you said, to win, you got to win it all. So the top half is looking really tough too. Gilby versus Smoothly, which is going to be coming up. We actually just got a huge raid from Gilby, another one of the
Oh,
organizers.
shout out to Gil.
Yes, and of course one of the main competitors. But let's look at what they're fighting for. Let's prizes on the line. We've got a signed chessboard from both Hikaru and Arjun Erigaisi. Huge. Plus a lot of diamond memberships from chess.com. And there's a consolation prize.
Yep. So Constellation will get a print of their best game or their winning game from chessart.me, a company that makes prints out of chess games or artworks out of chess games. So will best game of the tournament. Also, I think anyone who loses today will get a 2 month chess.com diamond membership. To give out also if they've already got one, they can give it out to a viewer, run a competition, do some sort of giveaway as well. So there's a good opportunity for someone to snag one of those.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really some incredible stuff, Matt. Do we have the game starting?
Yeah, so on that note, the games are actually starting around now. The game command has gone out. And so we should see the players.
Oh, yeah, we've got some moves on the
There
board.
we go.
Lovely stuff here. And it looks like Agna with the white pieces playing with d4.
Okay,
Ah,
D4. I
actually,
haven't seen
Agna has black. My bad.
no, sorry. Yeah, that's probably my bad for the setup. I was anticipating Agno to be white as well. But there we go. Max is white. The player's blitzing out the first bunch of moves. I'm gonna change monitors so I'm not looking to the side of the camera like all the time.
Oscar, congratulating you on drawing two 2000 plus OTB players. I didn't know you were playing OTB recently.
Not super recently. Over the past couple of months, I've drawn two 2000 FIDE rated players. So I've had some good games coming up. I'm gunning to get in the Olympiad. I'm in Jersey, so it's a really small place. So I just need a few more rating points. um,
Got it. Got it. Well, as the players have started, I'm actually going to start a prediction in the chat. Who's going to win this game?
oh, huge! This is huge. So I don't want to swing the chat. I mean, I would. Max, when he's on form, his calculation for some sharp tactics are really great. Um, Agne, to me, is one of the strongest players, though. She has been playing some great chess. She had a crushing position against Smoothly, but there were some complications. She just missed a large tactic which won him the game, but it could have taken it to Armageddon. So outside of that, I haven't really seen any bad play from her, and she played really well during that game. But one small tactical oversight, which I don't think we'll see again. I think it's a rare thing for her to lose to.
Got it. And how did your match against Max go?
I blundered a piece in both games, so I'm trying to sweep those under the carpet. But uh, yeah, I think I playing against him wasn't the positions were fine. I definitely overlooked in a move in the first game, playing crazy fast. But I did manage to swing it back to some kind of draw, even though I was a piece down, but missed it in low time trouble. So Max very comfortable when he has the advantage, can hold. He makes very clear and consistent moves, nothing too shaky. Although I have seen him push some pawns, and his in terms of his pawn structure, I think is like sometimes one of the weaker things I've seen from him across the games. His games against Gilby, definitely he was maybe trying too hard to push. So I have seen him, yeah, pull some very strange pawn moves, but he does create complications and he does calculate really sharp lines very well.
Well, we've got a huge raid from Chess Bra, so shout out to the Chess
Oh, no
Bras. Thank
way!
you so much. Appreciate that. You guys are tuning in at the perfect time to witness the semifinals of the Creator Cup, which you may or
Amazing.
may not have already heard of, but in case you haven't, this is Agna versus Max, two streamers that you probably should well know. I'm joined by Houseline, aka Matt, who is
Hello.
actually the creator of the Creator Cup. So he's the Creator Cup creator.
Right at inception there. Yeah, so if you don't know what the Creator Cup is, it's a rapid play tournament for content creators to try and give smaller content creators a bit of a platform in chess. Rapid play tournament, very much like PogChamps, easiest way to describe it. Similar format. We have group stages. We had knockouts. We're now in the semis, and we've got two of our strongest players battling out to get through to the finals today.
Yeah, so there's multiple games actually. This is the first of, I believe it's supposed to be best of four, right, Matt?
Um, uh, So they play a match. One is black and one is white here in rapid, and if it's tied, then we go to tie breaks. So it is best of
Two.
two. Just trying to pick that in my head. Best of two, but then the tie breaks are 5+0 blitz, so there's no increment, and there's lots of dirty flagging potential. It's great.
Nice. Got it. Okay. Well, we
Yeah.
just finished the prediction, and it looks like Agna is the favorite. No one put any points on Max, but there's a lot of points on the line if they draw.
Let's
So
go.
that'll be interesting. And as you said, this is a multi-game match. Agna technically the favorite in terms of rating, but not
Yeah.
by much.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Max has a pretty good position here. I wonder if he's done some prep. Like White has a lot more space, which is really nice to see. And the plans are simple. Like Rook C1 here, pinning the queen. Very, yeah. It's like easy moves to play, right? Trying to gain some initiative and development, fighting for the open C file. Um, Now it's just trying to continue. I would imagine Rook C2 here is probably a move for White while they're having a think, looking to get Rook C1. What else? What other plans have we got? Knight D3 because this knight on F2 isn't doing too much, and you've got a trying to get a route all the way through to C6 would be a potential plan. I would have thought.
And whenever I see the queen and bishop lined up, I definitely feel like going bishop h6 at some point, just trade off that dark square bishop,
Oh yeah,
the fianchetto bishop, and that's exactly what
yeah.
Max is going for here. Computer doesn't necessarily love it,
I
but
know that's great. Like I love that move. Maybe on the basis that I always struggle to decide whether this bishop's good or bad, this fianchettoed bishop, because the pawn on e5 is a massive blocker for it at the point in time at this point in time. But maybe a plan for Balak is trying to get the knight out of the way, and can you push f5? Would that be something you'd be looking to do in this position from Black?
yeah, it's definitely one of the pawn breaks. I think probably the main pawn break for Max to really open things up and try to get at Agna's king. Agna, we've seen play before, doing really well. She's a little bit low on time to start, but
Mm,
nothing too crazy. But I think that just goes to show Max is very comfortable with the white pieces.
yeah, I always find that eval bar really uh, I always think it swings more than it actually is. Like, because when I hover over the eval bar, this says like 0.8, right? So although the eval bar looks like it's quite heavily in White's favor on the stream here, it's not huge. Like, this is not like a winning advantage by any means. It's more just like activity.
Of course, yeah, white definitely has the more favorable position, but it's nothing significant. There's still lots of chess left to be played in this game, and we see Max now dips below 8 minutes, so Agna kind of evening things up a bit on the clock, contesting the C file. Still very comfortable position. Max is gonna probably trade on G7 at some point in order to get that F4 pawn break in that you called out.
Yeah. Like one thing I would also say is like this is a King's Indian, and I know computers seem to hate it. Like a friend of mine was telling me that if you play the King's Indian, you've just got to be prepared for the engine to tell you you're a pawn down, like for the whole duration of the game.
Yeah, but the top move in order to maintain that evaluation is to actually bring the bishop back to g5. Uh,
What?
so I think the computer wants to try to leave material on, and
Wow.
yeah, we don't see that from Max, and so you see the eval brings it back to roughly even here.
Crazy. That yeah, bringing the bishop back just not a natural move. I hate like this is like the level where you start learning some of these nuances. Hey, smoothly, how you doing? Um, where you start like you feel like you're wasting time, which is like a big thing in chess. We know time is super important, but uh, we really start seeing the caliber of the players when you see some of these moves that show a lot of understanding, but make it really difficult. Although saying that, I'm really not liking how the knight has been rerouted. I don't know if that was like necessary, but maybe it was the only option. But it does feel like black's gaining something. Um,
Yeah, after b4, the knight didn't have that many options. We see Agna trading off both pairs of rooks here. Also, as you mentioned, shout out to Smoothly, one of the contestants, and Gilby also in the chat, perhaps scouting their future round opponents.
oh no, Kilby's chilling. Kilby's just like bumming along. He's just doing his thing. You see him when he's playing. He's like singing. He's just got like a natural ability at chess, and he just does his thing.
Meanwhile, Smoothly is taking furious notes on every
Oh yeah.
particular move, how long it took to play it.
I've got to also throw out there. Me and Smoothly played a rapid game the other day, and Smoothly, do you want to tell everyone how that went?
Uh-oh.
So
Well, it
you
sounded
know
like a
it.
good time.
Oh, it was a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah, he won. Actually, Smoothly, I'm undefeated against you. If you check our record on chess.com, I think it's like 2.5 to nil to me.
Wow. Well, Smoothly said that he won.
Well, you know what? Check out smoothly's chess.com. Check out my chess.com. You can see the record for yourself. I'll leave it at that.
Hmm. Interesting.
Gilby's everywhere. Yeah, Gilby's in every Twitch chat known to chess. Okay, so G4. Wow, this is a bold move. I suppose there's no pieces on the king side, so why not? Like, can you, my also concern with G4 is how do I get my own pieces to the king side to aid an attack?
Hmm.
Um, is it looking like it'll get locked down to you because the players are sort of facing off? And to me, I think it might end up quite closed.
Well, Max is clearly going for an attack here. You can tell putting the king in the corner and now using that G pawn. But you bring up some good questions, right? Like, is it going to get closed? Because after G5 hits, how exactly are you going to proceed? I know we were mentioning F4 was really the plan,
Yeah,
but when you push that G pawn, it kind of makes it a little bit harder, right? We had the dark square bishop, which was also supporting the F pawn. But now there's a knight in the way on e3, so the queen's cut off. But also, as you were pointing out, knight d3 was another move to help support this f pawn pawn break. But
yeah,
g4 kind of not really moving along. And now knight h5, that knight is going to be a huge piece on the f4
yeah,
square.
yeah. And well, it's like a knight on f5 or a knight on f4 sub brackets is worth a pawn, according to Gary Kasparov. So that's a huge square to own and to be able to get a knight on. It's probably the square you would want your knight on if you could place it anywhere at a point in the game.
Yeah, and that pawn really helps the knight get there, going to h5, and that's just the clear logical continuation here. White's going to have to try to contest that. Maybe knight to d3 is going to be a necessity. And the pawn on g5, it's doing a good job of controlling the dark squares, but there's really no way or no piece to take advantage of
Mm,
that and get there.
yeah.
So curious to see how Max is going to follow through with this g pawn attack.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, now would be a good time to have a think for Max because this is problematic. Engine says equal. I can understand why. I mean that even though you are like the knight is coming in, there's no other pieces around to attack, and I think it's quite hard to coordinate your pieces to start attacking the king, or even like I'm trying to figure out how I can pick up a pawn, or create some problems, or like pose some questions. But I would probably try and take black here if I could, just because of the activity of the knight more than anything else. Um, but I'm really struggling to find any kind of key plans to break through, or even like where do my pieces want to be? Because I've got a light squared bishop as white, and my pawns are just completely blocking it in. Like interesting. So knight to d3, as you said, I mean, makes a lot of sense. We're trying to deal with f4. Either push us to f4 ourselves or deal with a knight coming to f4.
Yeah, and Agna following through with the plan on the c file. She lifted the rook to c7, really kind of having some sort of standoff. No one really
Mm-hmm.
wanted to trade on the c file, but only after queen to c8 is Max reacting and looking for a queen trade here, interestingly.
That is interesting. Oh, and Sam, how does a streamer join in? That's a good question. So we'll be running more streamer events. So if you drop me a DM on Discord, then I can drop you a message and talk about that.
All right, and we see the knight has landed on f4 thanks to the queen trade, bringing the knight on
Yep.
d3 back to the back rank, and now moving forward a4. That was not the move that the computer was calling for. It really liked the
Wow.
move h6.
H6. Just saying, what do you want to do with the G pawn? Can I maybe start walking and kicking in? But even then, like, I find it tricky. Wow. Okay, a lot of trades happening. Um, Computers really liking black. I assume I say really liking. Like black's got a pawn advantage, according to the engine, and I can only assume it's because we have this terrible tall pawn of a bishop. Um, but how are we protecting that pawn? We don't. we trade. That's how we protect. Yeah.
Yeah, so we go into a bishop and pawn endgame where the structure really is bad for white because they have a light square bishop, and the dark pawns for black are really good because this bishop could never attack them. And so we see that G pawn gets traded off, and the king is
Yep.
coming straight for this f4 square. The king steps up. I guess we could get checked. I'm wondering if we can play h5, or the computer's
Yeah.
just calling
That.
for h6.
Wow. Like, I would instantly be thinking h5, but yeah, I mean h4 check, and then the king steps out, and I suppose the question is, can you actually get in? And I don't think you can.
I'm trying to highlight this path forward for the king to come in this way.
Oh wow, so you're going like all the way,
I do. I want to
all the
go
way
all the way
around.
around, but in the meantime, white might play for f4, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
g5 played,
I mean, this is a
and
draw. Like, I think this is the drawing move. Like the consolidating the draw. Like, unless there's some strange. Oh my
oh,
god, what?
it's saying bishop to b5 is winning.
Oh, you're stopping the bishop being able to. No, I still don't get it.
You're good
I
again.
mean,
Boom.
like, oh, she plays it. Like the understanding there, because that
You're gonna
that definitely
zugzwang them.
requires some knowledge. Because you can just infiltrate with your bishop. That's why it's the only way you can infiltrate. So you can get bishop d3 to bishop b1, threatening a2. Because there's no way unless you go, and if you go bishop c2 now, I suppose you've got bishop c2. Then what do I do?
There's just gonna be some zugzwang. I guess you go to like e2 or maybe even f1.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, like if bishop c2, bishop to e2, um, their
Yeah, I
their
like bishop
bishop
e2.
their bishop only has like two squares to work with.
Yeah. King f2, bishop a6. Oh, bishop a6 is another tempo move as well, of course. But yeah, wow. So
Wow.
based on tempi, like this is huge. Like this is high level. If Agni understands this, just in terms of the Zugzwang, although Max is thinking a lot here, I think he's realizing he's in trouble. So he is worried about the A pawn, so he does go bishop c2. I probably yeah bishop e2 feels natural to me, but can you just move the king? But are there any draws with the pawn moves? Are all the pawn moves draws?
Well, the computer just likes shuffling, right? So yeah, king g6 or bishop a6 or bishop e2. And yeah, king g6 played by Agna.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's a boss move. That's crazy. Like that's cold. I love it. She knows.
well, if
She
the
knows.
bishop gives up d3, then bishop to d3 to b1 is going to be crushing for her, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So the bishop really only has one move. Okay, that was a mistake, right? Because now she gets to d3, and how are you saving the a2 pawn?
yeah,
Yeah, bishop d3, she pounces on it, and this is going to
yeah.
be
Of
a win
course.
in game one for Agna.
And that's exactly why Max went bishop c2 as well to stop this. So crazy. Wow. What a like precision. She's played this so cleanly. And also just traversing into this bishop endgame where her pawn structure, it's only winning for like there's only winning chances for her. There's definitely none for white.
Yeah. And honestly, I think it all kind of comes back to Max not going for the f4 pawn break because that f3 pawn is really the chain of light square pawns. It's boxing in the bishop. So I know maybe the computer says it's a perfect draw, or you could look at the material and say, okay, pawn and bishop in game should be a draw. But it really comes down to whoever has the most active bishop.
Yeah.
And as soon as that bishop got to b5, this was game over. King h3 from Max, just awaiting his fate. Agna hasn't played bishop b1 yet, but
Yeah, she's thinking through. She's using her time. She knows she's got time. She knows she's not going to flag. She's 2 minutes up on the clock as well. So she's probably just figuring out what the most accurate way of to continue is because she's also got like a bishop f1, which I don't think does anything, but um, bishop b1 just feels so simple. Or whether you if that maybe you take on h4 first, who knows? But
she might be a little concerned after bishop b1. Yeah, she can win that pawn on a2, but then maybe bishop to c2 locks her bishop
and
in.
yeah, is there? I was trying to say if there's a way to sack the bishop, there isn't yet. um, yeah, okay, bishop
So maybe
b1.
it's not as clear cut as we thought.
King makes a waiting move. Bishop takes a2. Yeah, bishop c2 is a little tricky.
She gives a check.
Yeah, okay, bishop f1, so he does look at the check.
She's okay, she just moves the king. She's just trying to zugzwang, I guess.
So what she might be looking for is like king f2, bishop h3, and then followed up with g4. Like maybe there might be something like that. Does that work? Or do you just go back to d3? Um,
I think she's you're saying king f2.
and then I would go bishop h3, king g4. No, you'd have to go back. Okay, like it's not actually as trivial.
Yeah, uh this is getting a little complicated.
Yeah,
How much increment do they have?
they have 5 seconds, so
So it's
there's
10 plus 5.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, king
I mean,
f2, bishop back to b5. They might end up threefold repetition.
I know, but now now there's GH, I think, and then wait, am I in the right position? Oh no, it's yeah, white's move. Maybe threefold, maybe yeah, because king f2, then what? But this is the Zugzwang thing. I think you've got h6, you've got to waste time. somehow. Huh.
Yeah, computer sees a win here for black, but
I don't. Yeah, I'm struggling here. This is like kind of
so
frustrating.
the bishop has to come back and does so. But now it's really like we're getting close to threefold. Yeah, they drew. So the computer
Damn,
found a win at some point somewhere. So shout out to the people that predicted a draw.
that's
It was
crazy.
really looking like Agna was gonna win.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
So what was the
Okay,
correct plan? We're gonna take a quick look at what the computer wanted. So let's see. At some point, I guess the king was gonna leave. No, but like, what if the king? So you see Agna's reaction. See, she realizes that she was
but
winning,
it's. I
but it
don't
was
think like
not
it's
clear.
like yeah, because I was trying to like put through the moves like
So if
that
you ever
were most
take,
natural, and then it's just like draw. um,
yeah, once f4, e5 check. But let's look at let's go back to where maybe she could have played bishop b1 because that was still a fine move apparently. But it once, yeah, it's like calling for f4. But let's say like bishop here takes bishop here. Oh no, that was not smart. Let's say king here takes bishop c2, right? It's not so clear anymore. Yeah,
yeah,
computer says it's a draw now. So we
yeah,
can't take
like
the pawn. So what was the one? G takes, king takes, bishop back to d3. Yeah, it keeps calling for f4. But let's say king g3, then we just step up, right? So the problem is their bishop has no moves and their pawns have no moves. So now,
6-1.
yeah, so let's look at
That's
the problem here. She should just take. Well, how does she burn a move here? King takes and we play king here. Yeah,
I suppose you can just play king h6. Yeah,
it really wants bishop b1 and yeah, if the king ever leaves, then our king enters is the point. So if they go here, then they don't have this bishop move anymore, and then we can just take freely.
wow.
Um,
That's yeah. It's really not
so
trivial.
she needed a good time to take,
Yeah.
is what she had missed. All right, well, are we ready to start the next game?
We are ready to start. I'm just double checking. I haven't had confirmation from one of the
We can
players,
take a
but
look
I'm
in on Agna and see what she's talking about.
yeah. I've told them that it's 30 seconds till start, so hopefully.
Anywhere with the bishop because then I just go and take this.
Oh, she's it. Yeah.
In the morning.
Yeah, she's reviewing her game.
Oh my god, they said they're gonna start the game in like 30 seconds. Okay, I was it's only morning. That's good. Okay, okay, guys.
Yeah, putting
Till
some of the
now.
pressure on.
Now we need to fucking smash. Smash, smash, kill, smash,
Well,
smash.
now she's got the white
Oh,
pieces.
Okay.
So,
I love the mentality. Now we need to kill, smash, smash. Like,
yep,
let's go. We're gonna
she's
see. We're gonna
ready.
see a fight.
She
Okay.
knew that she was winning, and that's gonna help give her the confidence. Dijon
And the
blaming me, rightfully so.
game command has gone through, so we should start seeing moves any second.
Okay, and I see the game.
Um, yeah. Where am
And
I?
game
I see the game.
two
Wow.
is underway. Agna with the white pieces. We're gonna start another prediction.
Okay, so a close Sicilian defense, and a Grand Prix as well. Love to see it. Very aggressive. I know nothing about it, so
Same.
that makes two of us. Great.
Yes.
I just yeah, early F pawn pushes, you know? I mean, I play the Scotch, so quite often I do like a little F3 in castle's queen side, but castle and king side, just blasting open the F file. I love it.
Well, Max has done really well out of the openings, I think,
Yeah.
so far in both games now. And he's added a lot of time to his clock. He's almost at 10.5 minutes, whereas Agna is starting to think a little bit here, bringing a knight back. Computer does
Wow.
not like this after a trade on f3. Um, and I'm assuming the rook will recapture to maintain the pawn structure, but the computer is saying that g takes is actually better.
What? No way. That is crazy to me. I suppose D e4, and you can't take on e4 because queen takes, the queen's hanging in the end.
Wow. Yeah,
So
that's
you lose a
that's
pawn
wild.
instantly.
So this is a tactic already for Max, and he's gonna use some of
Yeah.
that extra time banked to see if he can snuff this one out. As you
Yeah.
mentioned, the default opening up, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah. Oof. Okay. This is tough. You've got to, but also knight takes a knight trade on e2 could potentially be something on the cards. But what, I've seen people try and hold the tension a lot because I think a lot of people, especially around our level, are like really start loving tension, and you go like, but is it now? And I mean, it's really simple once you see it, but it's a weird pattern this. So I don't know. I don't know if you will see it, and if I'm looking at it from the other side, maybe I wouldn't. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
maybe we can tune it. Okay, Max, he takes
D4
on e4.
first.
This is the second best move. Now take on f3. It's very apparent that the g pawn needs to recapture.
Yeah, yeah,
So it could be a transposition, right? If Agna had seen that the d pawn would have been pinned, maybe Agna
yeah,
would have taken with the pawn. Here she really has to take with the pawn.
yeah. That's
Yep.
it's check. There's literally like, I mean, if you move your king, if you really want, but
No, no, no. Not worth the piece to give up.
now the question is, I'd be like, all right, I've got the H file, I've got the G file. I'm gonna King H1, get rooks on the G file, and just try. That's what I'm gonna try and do. Um, but still feels dangerous. So like, although you missed winning the pawn and the takes with pawn, this still feels like black has got exactly what they wanted.
So bishop takes on b2 is a threat, and you might think, well, what if you get pinned with the rook? Yes,
Mhm.
but there's a really nice timely discovery check actually. Um,
With
with
C4.
c4, and then the pawn could maybe get to c. Actually, I don't think that would work because the knight could take that. That bishop would still be pinned to the queen. Um, hmm. But we see c3, so Agna not even giving the opportunity to take
Giving
on
them
b2.
respect. Yeah.
And now the rook hits the queen. Queen's gonna have to move, or you're gonna have to self pin, which isn't too pretty. Maybe queen
And C4
b3,
is coming.
maybe queen c2. No, queen to e1.
Max, so his light square bishop was problematic. He's probably rightfully getting it into the game right now to connect his rooks. He's got potential for bishop b5 as well, which will pin the knight, which might be annoying. He can always wait with c4. And white doesn't really want to push c4 themselves because they put their bishop on a2. So you're just blocking your own bishop.
Yeah, this pawn on b2 is a liability. We'd love to play bishop out to e3 and just develop our last minor piece, but of course the b2 needs some babysitting, so rook b1, not the most exciting move to make, but uh, maybe you can bring the queen to f2. No, king goes to the
I,
corner on
I
h1.
really like it King H1. Like this is my plan. Like this is exactly what I was thinking. Like, I'm stopping any of this like annoying potential C4 with revealed check. And then I'm gonna get my queen to like G3 and Rook G1. Rook G1 now also gets my knight out of that annoying pin. Um and
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
could
going to
see.
try and find my pieces over this side of the board. I don't think there is anything to be had from it, but it's the only play that I think I can try and get. I'm trying to think on like f5. That's good at any point in time. It frees up a square for my knight on f4 to try and get into the action. I want my pieces to start working. F4 might have some interesting ideas because you've still got that bishop on a2, which is easy to forget about for black as well.
Yeah, I think that Agna's doing a good thing out of a bad situation, right? It didn't start
Yeah.
how she wanted it. She didn't want her pawn structure to be like this, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and that's exactly what Agnes doing with this pawn structure. She's using the
Yeah.
open G file, putting the rook there, and I think knight to G3 followed with some F5 shenanigans, and she could get some pretty gnarly tactics if we see some pawn trades there.
Yeah, I quite like bishop to e3 at the moment, just to X-ray the queen. It's a very natural move, but maybe it's just nothing because you go queen d6 maybe, or maybe you don't even need to bother. Like maybe you can just chill, but you don't
Yeah,
have to get out of that pin. It's not a threat.
the bishop there works for now because the bishop is actually blocking the queen's attack on b2. And if you trade the bishop for the knight now, queen recaptures, defending the pawn as well. But the computer really
Right.
likes this bishop to d3 move, actually, opening up that queen again. And
Oh
maybe we're
wow.
going to play the pawn on c4.
And bishop d3 covers the b1 square as well for that rook, so you are just working that pawn.
Yeah. So that is kind of curious. Maybe there's queen d2 because that bishop doesn't have any good discoveries. Actually, no, you would just take the knight. I was gonna say the rook is hanging there, but then bishop takes on f3 would be a gnarly check against that king. You'd have to give back the rook there. Um,
Ouch.
but I don't know if Max would go for this bishop d3 idea.
I mean, you've got bishop d3. You can also push c4. You've got potential to push c4 if you would really want to try and clamp the position there, and then double your rooks on that file. Okay, Max goes queen a6. I understand, but it just feels like a one-move threat unless he's trying to threaten something else. I don't get the maybe he didn't want c4. Maybe he just didn't like c4 for some reason. That's the only other explanation I can think of.
Yeah, but scaring the knight to a better square. This is helping Agnes plan routing pieces towards black's king. The pawn on c5 is now hanging, so
Oh, so
pawn
is
push.
there
I want to
I
play
was
f5. I don't
I,
know.
I was I was wondering if you had like knight h5, g takes h, and queen g3.
That might not
Oh,
necessarily
knight
work.
knight g6. Knight
Knight
g6 is
knight
blocking.
g6, but you still have f5 there.
And you just
Computer also just likes launching the h pawn actually. Just why not join in on the fun? Shout out to Tommy. Always a pleasure to have around. Also, Kristamir asking if I've ever commentated for Agna before. I know she's played in a lot of OTB. I know that she's streamed a lot with Phoebe,
yeah.
another famous commentator in the chess world. Um, and yeah, shout out to Dijon also knows a lot of fun facts about the streamer community. But yeah, H4 has been played. Agnes full
Wow.
sending it. Both players still
Love
roughly
it.
7 minutes on the clock, and H5 is next on the menu. So
Yeah,
Max
I mean,
doubled the rooks, but what's he exactly doing?
yeah, and okay, this is the smart option of what I'm saying. I was just like, right, can I just sack the knight like to try and get in, get the bishop? But yeah, this is a smart move. Doubling the rooks and allowing h5 though. Is that I mean it probably makes sense. Is h5 is it really a threat? Probably not. You can chill.
Well, it's been played, and it's just trying to break down the defenses of Black's kingside pawn structure. Um, because I'm assuming you're gonna have to take with the H file. The thing is, despite the attack looking pretty good for white, it's coming at the expense of white's own king. So we already saw doubled pawns here. The king has no pawns in front of it anymore. And what I didn't so much like about queen a6, not so much that it's just a one move threat, and also b6, but the queen's pretty sidelined. So we're seeing queen coming back to b7, trying to get
Yeah.
more involved into the game. And the computer still says that black has the slight advantage despite this attack maybe looking a little scary, but it could very easily backfire. After we trade on g6, h takes g6, you could see the king stepping up at some point and getting a rook to the h file. That's going to be very annoying for white.
Yeah, and although it does feel super scary. Like there is a lot of like play for both sides here. Black owns the D file. We're trying to open up the G and H file for some kind of attack. I am a little bit concerned my king on H1 is kind of in the way now because if there's a file I want to be attacking, it's the H file. The G file isn't going anywhere for me.
Wow. So after this move, c4, it blocks out the bishop on a2, but the computer says it
Right.
likes white now. Uh, it
Oh,
likes,
you've given away d4. Like in terms of like the d4 square is now a hole. Um, so you could try and get your knight there. Open up the g file. Double your rooks maybe. But it liked that we had control over the d4 square. I think. I mean, do we still have control? Can I go knight e2? Looking to go f. Oh, maybe knight e2. I can start looking at f5 ideas as well coming up in the future. I don't know.
yeah, it does like the 92 idea. It also likes just bringing that last rook into the game, and I think moving the rook is going to be important because the bishop can find a new home on b1, which helps with any f5 pawn breaks. So we'll see what Agna decides to go for here.
Okay, so this is where you go, what's my plan? I mean, your plan is to attack, but you've really got to start calculating. So I'm wondering because you've got that pawn on h5 as well. That's always going to be a question. You need to start calculating other pawn breaks. Maybe, I mean, you can't push f5 yet, but oof, I like you've got to try and figure out at which point you need to just lose the tension. Maybe she understands that c4 was a bit of an annoying move, like in terms of for Max blocking in some of his own bishop, but she's gone for f5, which isn't the right plan.
f5, yeah, but
But
it's
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 hard to figure out.
it's the right plan, I think, but in the wrong situation. She wasn't prepped. These pieces on A1 and A2 are just not in the game yet, right? She could have
Yeah.
better prepared bringing the rook in somewhere, maybe even lifting the rook and doubling and getting that bishop to B1, I think would have been better prepared for this. Now the computer actually likes black, saying that E takes F5 is the best move.
Wow. Yeah, and that's the natural move, right? E takes f5. You don't want to take with the g pawn, so that's fine. So like, I imagine we see that. You haven't got a threat yet of f6. I'm wondering if you could. No, maybe not. I'm trying to figure out ways that of how I could just leave this be, and should I just leave this be? I mean, do I care if you take on g6? Probably. I think I would be very scared. But
Yeah, allowing the captures on g6 is probably not great, because you do have the two pawns both attacking.
yeah.
What's up, Brent? How's it going? Welcome in.
Oh, hey, GHX as well.
That's
You're not a club
Ghost.
player. Sorry.
I would pronounce that as Ghost.
I was saying, yeah. Yeah, no,
Jeez,
I'm just super dyslexic. I just should be Ghost.
it's
It's just
okay.
like GHX. You're not a club chess
Uh,
player.
yeah, this is
Never
the
been a
Creator Cup. This is something that Matt has created, and it's for streamers to compete in, very similar to PogChamps, but without all of the top level coaching, right?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, and maybe some slightly better players.
Maybe half the audience.
Yeah, yeah, half. We're half pole champs,
Half the audience,
essentially.
but half the budget.
I mean, probably not even half the budget. They're like the infinite less of budget. We didn't have any budget.
Oh no.
Like this is all zero. Everyone's given
Well,
their time. It's been so good.
yeah, shout out to all the players competing and of course the organizers for putting all this together, spending their time. So if you guys have a chance to support them either with a follow or just tuning in, saying something nice, it's definitely appreciated. And this is something that is wrapping up very soon. This started a while
Oh yeah.
back, and now we're getting towards the end of the inaugural event, and hopefully
Yep.
we'll have more like it in the future.
Oh yeah. That's the dream. But we have just seen what is labeled as a blunder. Bishop A4, which is a curious move, giving up a pawn potentially, but also just ignoring all of these captures on g6, and now I will capture on g6. I will f takes g6 every day of the week, and then which pawn do you want to capture back with? I mean, I think naturally maybe fg.
Well, I think what Agnes doing is actually stronger. Bishop to a4 is
Oh
pretty egregious as far as blunders go because
yeah,
I don't exactly see what on earth it's doing. Like you're not trying to play b5, are you? Or bishop b3,
bishop
right? Like,
b3. I think he's going for bishop b3, but like you're
but
just giving up
yeah,
that diagonal.
the c4 pawn is like the whole reason why you played c4 has just completely backfired, right? So, um, seriously, just not a good move at all from Max there. That I don't know if you could count to time pressure, but seriously, big blunder there. Just giving up that pawn for no reason. But even worse, the activity. G6
Yeah.
is still a weakness. There's no F pawn. E6 is a huge target now. Lots of tactics that are going to go into Agnes' favor after this. So,
Yeah, and
pretty
and
bad.
and now things like you're done with the bishop on e3. It's done its job. Bishop b5, pinning the knight, like creating some restrictions. You've still got that like h6 can't be pushed because then you'll probably weaken your g pawn because you can just trade. Like all of White's pieces are now coordinated really well after those pawn trades. Uh, what
Yeah,
match?
peculiar move there. So I guess Bishop A4 is trying to trade off the rooks. Um,
Wow, yeah. That okay, so that's the reason. But what's
but
the evaluation to trade off? Maybe he just wanted to trade off all the material and missed that he was just giving up
well,
so much of his position.
yeah, he's already lost the pawn. So when you're down material, you also don't want to trade necessarily. So
And can he lose a knight here? Oh, okay, there's always queen f8. Because I was thinking like rook takes d1, bishop d1, queen d2, um, looking for queen d8 check. Kings coming in.
yeah,
I'm just trying.
it
Like,
looks like the right idea, but I think the wrong execution because when the bishop captures on D1, it is threatening the F3 pawn with check.
sure. Oh yeah. I missed that. So you want?
Queen on D2 would be really good though, right? Lining up with the bishop, lining up on the D file. I think right idea, but okay, knight E2 has been played. Perhaps going to D4, which I like.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And you've got options. Your knight's a very flexible piece now. Um,
Yeah,
but
maybe also going to F4 and targeting
yeah,
the weak E pawn
yeah,
and the
and
G
you
pawn.
can't. Yeah, and the e pawn is pinned, so we chilling. There's no e5 to restrict the knight.
Yeah, knight F4. It's gonna come.
Bishop
That's
e5, I still maybe to still try and line up with my plan ish, but I can't get my queen on that open. Well, bishop b5. Okay, maybe
we still
that's
have so in this position, yeah, still knight F4. It's what the computer's saying is the best move. You could play bishop f4.
mm.
H6 is it's calling for, but I'm not necessarily a fan of h6 because I like the tension on g6. Uh,
And this is a sad move to have to make. Bishop d7, if you want to keep the pawn at any rate.
yeah, bishop d7 or like king f7. That doesn't even defend the pawn really, which is funny. But yeah, bishop d7, like you said, it's a sad move, and also
uh,
it's not even working right. G6 is also hanging.
yeah. So you just take on g6 twice, and oof.
I would probably even consider taking with a knight actually. Queen takes, and you're
Oh,
just threatening h6.
yeah.
Or wait, no, you'd still have to take with a pawn. Yeah. I I think Agda's gonna just crush at this point. Max has already
Yeah.
played some pretty bad blunders with over 3 minutes. I don't see him improving here now under 50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's
Ooh,
oh,
okay. You just take on e6
take
anyways.
on, yeah,
Or you could take on g6 first.
G6 as well. Yeah, G6, and you've got Queen 8, Queen coming up as well. And take, no, yeah. No, I had the Queen on the H file in my head for some reason.
Yeah. All right, well, buckle up because we're about to see some fireworks. Let's see how Agna puts this game to rest. Takes with the knight, not with check, but with discoveries. Beautiful
I mean,
stuff.
the threat is worse than the execution.
Threat is like knight c5 discovery, picking up the bishop on a4, right? Or who knows, maybe even something worse.
You can actually go knight f8. No, you can't. I thought I had a
No, the
sneaky
king would
tactic. It
just
doesn't work.
take.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, 15 seconds for Max. I do think he has to move the knight, right?
I mean, I think he's just going to start. I think he might resign.
Five
I think it's,
seconds.
yeah.
3, 2, 1. Anything?
Oh,
Okay, that's
oh,
not a good
okay.
move because knight
Yeah,
c5
95 is
is
worse.
even stronger now. Instead of picking up the bishop, he's defending the bishop, but
Uh,
he's hanging his queen.
yeah, yeah,
Man, Max must have gotten some nerves to him at the end there,
yeah,
because
yeah. But this is kind of what I've seen from Max. He can play some really great chess, and then he there's some really obscure like moves. I think he gets in some strange plans maybe. But yeah, Max loses on time, so we will be going to an Armageddon.
no, 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 it's match
Uh,
over. It's a best of
match over.
two. Agna won 1.5 to a half. She won the best of two.
Oh, they drew. They drew the first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. Yep, yep, yep. You're
Agna
right.
was winning the first one anyways.
Yep, yep.
But
Uh,
yeah, we've got Agnes celebrating. We got her reaction on camera, and um, tell us, Matt, what's gonna happen next?
awesome. So with that wrapped up, I don't know why I thought it was 1-1, but with that wrapped up, we're gonna get the players in, give them like congratulations and consolations. We'll also be running the next set of the semi-finals tomorrow. So we have a consolation group starting at 8 p.m. UTC, and then the second game will run at the same time this game. So we have two matches, consolation and championship. The consolation bracket is off the top of my head.
We've got to look. So we've
Yeah,
got the bracket.
I should know this.
Agnes
B
moving on to the
Skywalk.
finals. Yep, and as you said, the consolation bracket, which we will also be seeing.
Yep. So B Skywalk versus Ollie to see who's the finals in that bracket, and then tomorrow we also have Gilbly versus Smoothly, and the winner of that will be playing Agne. So that will be fireworks next week. That will be the grand final. There will also be third place playoffs for each bracket as well.
Got it.
To get our little for our prize givings.
Yeah, so Max will still be competing, but he's gonna have to wait till after Gilby and Smoothly have their match tomorrow. So
Yes.
in the meantime, we're trying to get the players in, I believe,
Yeah.
for an
Yeah.
interview.
I am. Also, why I'm stumbling over
Yep,
my words a
so
bit.
no worries.
Talking and writing is impossible for me.
Yep, all good.
Writing, I mean, my writing on its own is terrible, let alone.
It's all good.
Um,
In the meantime, we can just we can watch Agna. Let's see what Agna has to say.
Moves at least to go here, or like with the
Okay,
queen
she's
taking
doing
over
her
the rook.
own
And then I
game
have
review.
this, then my knight is like coming in. Like I wanted my knight to the root because it doesn't do anything here. So I kind of like was thinking a little bit like that. Superstar, superstar.
Yes,
I
a
love non-native
superstar
player.
game here from
I'm
a
waiting for
superstar
the.
streamer.
Oh my god, we're gonna have finals soon. I think we're gonna play again with Smoothly. I think we're
Oh,
gonna play
she's
again.
predicting she's
Oh
predicting
yeah.
Smoothly will be her
Oh
final
damn.
opponent. What does Gilby have to
Did
say
we
about
play
that?
earlier? Oh wait.
Yeah.
They wanna do the call. We can guys also do the call quick, right? I think
Yeah.
we'll
Cool.
be
All right.
quicker
She's
than
seen.
quick.
Max is free.
Almost.
Do you want me to invite them straight into this one?
Yeah, that'd probably be
Testing.
best.
Cool.
Sure.
Um,
My Discord works.
I don't know if it invites them in directly. Actually, it might make a new
I
call.
know
That's
Discord
okay.
works good.
All right. Or we
But
go to
if
the
you wanna
Creator
do
Cup.
it
Maybe we
now,
can just pop in the Creator Cup chat so it doesn't like ring
you
everybody.
wanna prep me? No. Why you wanna
Oh no,
prep
I'll
me?
call.
I
I'll
don't
call.
need prep.
Don't, no worries.
Me
It's
without
easier.
prep is the best. Like now, I was without prep. I was at my mom's. I was chilling. I had a champagne. I had wine.
Oh,
After
she's
that, I
she's
had
got a
two
lot of
coffees.
drinks.
I had food. I had cold. My energy is running out, and we're good. That's how we play. But let's join the call. Let's try to. Hello.
That's funny.
Wait. Hello. I'm not sure if my Discord works. I had some problems yesterday
Hello.
with OBS that my people cannot hear Discord for some reason, and I haven't fixed it yet. So I think it's
Right.
sure. I can be for a little bit, but like just for a little bit because my people cannot hear anything for
Oh
some
no.
Oh,
like yeah.
unfortunate.
But it was very good game.
Um, and we're trying to get Max to. There he is. Hey Max.
Hello. Did you all want to turn your cameras on or?
It's fine with audio, I think, because our camera is being used on OBS.
Got it. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's fine.
good game to Agne. She played very well. Honestly,
Thank
like
you.
her
I
attack was like
Oh,
really really dangerous. Like the moment I done this, the moment she had 2 pawns in the fifth rank, I was done.
yeah. Joe's just. Are we gonna sit in commentators?
Yeah, I
Maybe.
think this is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best that we
Cool.
have.
Perfect. Great. So, firstly, well done, guys. That was a really high quality game, first game and second game. There was a lot going on. You both played very like aggressive chess. It was not boring to watch at all. So thanks for that and putting on a show. Agne, well done. Congratulations. Thank you so. Well, you are through. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I was so stressed out about like the first game because I had a win. And then I realized after the game that I had a win. I just didn't realize how to win. And I was like moving on with the bishop back and forward. And I'm like, okay, this is like 100% a draw. And then I finished the game. And then it's like the computer shows like -5. For me, like 5 better. And I was like, what? How? And I was like so mad at myself at the second game that I blundered that knight takes knight, and then I had to take with the pawn.
Yeah.
But it turned out pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah, you definitely made the most of that situation. I wanted to ask Max, did you know that Agna was winning in that first game, or did you also think it was a draw?
I definitely knew she was winning. I thought it was great, and it's just like if she found the right way, would have maybe like during the game I had only one. Like that's what I think. I didn't pick yeah maybe. So I thought I was so close to losing.
Yeah, well, that was definitely an entertaining game, and you kind of got away with one there, ending with a draw, and maybe that was gonna help you moving on into the second match, and you kind of had that advantage, like Agna pointed out.
Yeah.
Knight takes on f3. Her rook had to keep defending her queen because of the pin on the d file, so her structure got damaged, but she ended up making the most out of that situation. Um, Agna, you mentioned
Yeah,
that you're probably gonna play against Smoothly in the finals, but Smoothly still has to play Gilby tomorrow in the semifinals. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about your prediction for tomorrow?
I have no idea, but I would love a rematch against Woodley. I would love that. He's like right now in my channel, and he's saying, I beat her once, I will do it again." And I'm like, "No, that's not gonna happen."
Hey, if it helps, me and Smoothly played a rapid game the other day, and I've been knocked out. So I took 12 points off of him. So you'll be fine if you rematch. It'll be all good.
I hope so.
That's funny. Well, Gilby's tuning in, and I think that he's gonna have a word or two to say about that. But we're all gonna have to tune in and see what happens tomorrow in that second half of the semifinals match. But yeah, congratulations, Agna. How do you feel so far now that you've clinched a spot in the finals?
It's very nice. Yeah, I didn't expect to go so far, but it's very nice. Like I think I'm playing better and better myself somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like what I noticed that the more exhausted I am like from the day, the better I play in chess. That's so weird. But like when I'm like a little bit like exhausted, like doing some stuff like during the day,
Yeah.
then at the evening I just want like something like calm and like nice, and chess is like exactly that. And I'm like so enjoying chess. So yeah, I think that helps out
That
a little bit.
That's great. You need to start going to the gym, wearing yourself out, and then coming back to chess. It'd be great. I suppose
Yeah.
on that mental note, you're like obviously in a good calm space when you're playing. Max, how were you feeling when you were playing Agne today?
So I was feeling good in the beginning. So like the one she took on the E6. Uh, yeah, I felt very bad. Then I done the discovery check. Like I had 3 seconds. I don't
Yeah,
know. She played better than me. Honestly, yeah. Her
yeah.
track was very strong.
Yeah.
And in terms of your obviously you lost today, but you get to play a third place playoff next week. Um, so that'll be either Gilby or Smoothly as well, depending on who wins tomorrow. Who would you rather face?
Yeah, smoothly, of course. I don't want to face Gilby. I don't know, like,
That's
somehow
funny.
he
Okay.
always beats me.
Everyone wants to play against Smoothly.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, Agna, you've been playing some tremendous chess, and hopefully you've saved your best for last. So you've got one final match coming up. I want to congratulate you once again and wish you the best of
Thank
luck
you.
in the next one.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you guys.
No worries.
Congratulations, Ragnar. I hope you will be first. I hope you will beat everyone else.
Oh,
Nice.
thanks. Thanks so much.
All
Thank you. It was really great games. You had me worried.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Agna, and best of luck, Max, in your last match as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's take another look at the bracket just to remind everyone. We've got Gilby and Smoothly tomorrow. That's going to finish off the championship bracket. Do you have any quick predictions for that, Matt?
I do think that could go either way. I've seen Gilby in the beginning of the tournament play some really great chess. He had couple of more dodgy games recently, though, and Smoothly, I think, has just been locking in and grinding. He also went over 2K in Rapid the other week. So he's definitely been on the improvement and he's really focused. So I do think it could go either way. Gilby on form is someone I'm very scared to play, and Smoothly, the more he's played, the more terrified I've been of him.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Both players obviously very strong in their own right, both very
Mhm.
talented players. And we heard from both Agna and Max. They both want to play against Smoothly for different reasons.
Oh yeah,
Agna hopefully looking for some revenge, I think, and Max saying that he just doesn't play well against Gilby. Gilby crushes him every time. So we're gonna have quite the treat tomorrow. So everyone, thank you for tuning in today. Really appreciate that, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. You won't want to miss it.
great. Goodbye, everybody, and thanks again, Joe, for commentary. And I obviously you were due to have someone much more glamorous than I, so hopefully tomorrow you'll have a great time. Um, hopefully with not me.
No, no. Hopefully you'll be. I
Have
mean,
a
whether or
surprise
not you're commentating,
commentator.
You're always, involved. You're part of the reason why we're here, and really can't thank you enough for having me and commentating with me. It's an absolute honor and a pleasure.
Great. Thank you so much. So if Agne is still streaming, I think we'll go and raid Agne. And I think she might be reviewing her game still. So yeah, let's drop the winner a raid, and I'll see all of you again tomorrow. We start at 8 p.m. UTC. If you enjoyed the Creator Cup and haven't tuned in so far, it's the last 2 weekends. So tomorrow, 8 p.m. UTC, we start, and next weekend on Saturdays and Sundays, we will start at 8 p.m. UTC for the finals.
Amazing. Well, I'll see you all back again tomorrow. Thanks again, Matt. And yeah, let's send you all off on a raid. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at what the players have on the line for the prizes as a final reminder. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your Saturday.